This week, we're going to look at personal mobility on the job site.
Plus, we watch a dummy test heated jackets and see the world's first cordless half-inch router.
This is your Power Tool Week in Review.
This episode is brought to you by Ohio Power Tool. Pro tools, pro service, all at the best prices at ohiopowertool.com. And Ego, power beyond belief.
Welcome back, Power Tool fans. I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah. It's February 5th, 2021, and we've got a lot to talk about on today's show.
Yep, and as you watch, if you like the episode, hit that like button for me, and if you love it, subscribe.
Last week, Milwaukee held a special digital event focused on their new tools coming specifically for mechanics, and Tim from Shop Tool Reviews is freaking out, and we don't blame him. Tim published a great video that not only recaps the tools featured in the media event, but he actually has just about every one of the new tools on hand. We get a closer look at the high-speed ratchets, their new extended handle and stubby ratchets, their new fast riveter, and the unique M12 fuel tire buffer, which I'll admit, I didn't even know it was a thing. Apparently, when you're repairing a tire, you need to buff down the inside of the tire to give it a smooth surface to apply the patch. And this Milwaukee tool makes this job cordless for the very first time. If you're a Milwaukee fan who works on cars and trucks for a living, Tim has a lot of exciting news for you. And for the full story, head over to Shop Tool Reviews.
Over the last couple of years, manufacturers have started selling cordless trim routers to the absolute joy of woodworkers everywhere. But if you needed to do anything more serious, you had to grab a corded model to get it done. Metabo HPT decided that was stupid. Hikoki, the cooler name that Metabo HPT uses elsewhere in the world, just revealed their new cordless half-inch router, a world's first that the world has actually been waiting for. The boys over at Sydney Tools got their hands on it, and it's exactly as exciting as you'd think. To power this monster, it uses their 36-volt batteries, and they immediately showed it off using a 25mm bit. Now, I did some math, and either that converts to around 1 inch in diameter or 1 foot. I'm not totally sure. Either way, look at that thing go. The speed dial ranges from 11,000 to 25,000 RPM, and it includes collets for both quarter-inch and half-inch bits, as you'd expect. According to their website, it's $699 didgeridoos, which is around $530 US for just the skin. I'm not totally sure, but I'm hoping that means bare tool. Now, when will we see this in the States? I'm not exactly sure yet, but we have a call into Metabo HPT, and I'll leave an update in the description when we hear back. You can get a closer look at Sydney Tools TV.
Todd has been absolutely killing it recently over at Project Farm. His detailed and creative tool reviews have been not only informative, but also entertaining. But this week he goes off the deep end, and I couldn't be happier. Todd decided it was time to test heated jackets, but after reviewing so many tools alone, this time he decided to enlist the help of Cousin Eddie.
I'm definitely gonna need some help with this testing, so I'm gonna check in on Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie, you in there? Okay, I'll come on in. Hey man, how's it going? Cousin Eddie, I really need some help testing some heated jackets. Can you help me out? All right, man, I'm glad you're able to help. Let's go and get started.
This has to be the best heated jacket review I've ever seen.
Hey.
It's way better than yours.
It's actually way better.
Todd gathers a total of 5 different heated jackets and goes to some pretty extreme lengths to test them, including putting Eddie in a freezer and on top of the Farmabago. He even wears them himself as he rides a 2-stroke gas-powered bike in freezing temperatures. If you're planning to buy a heated jacket, which I highly recommend, be sure to head over to Project Farm first.
Connor, play back that clip of the Farmabago. Listen to that exhaust. Why does his crappy RV sound cooler than any vehicle I own? All right, guys, it's time for some tool talk. Last week, I asked you about your favorite accessories that completely change the purpose of your tools. Patrick M suggested that you don't really need accessories to change the function of your tools. He just uses his impact as a hammer. I don't recommend that, Patrick. Brandon Hart suggested using a crowfoot in an impact, and I'm terrified to even look up how that would work. Now, this week's Tool Talk is about job site mobility. We recently featured a DeWalt patent found by Nate over at Dorsum Tool Reviews for a job site trike that would not only move your tools, but move you with it. It's led to several conversations with some Packout fans about a Packout scooter that you could ride on the job site. So my question to you this week, does a job site joyride really make any sense? And if so, do you think it would look like a trike or an off-road Segway or something else? I'll be replying to your comments after the show.
Enough tool talk, it's time for some actual work with Rob Robillard.
Hey, Rob, Sarah, how are you guys this week?
We're doing pretty good, Rob. How are you, bud? You look kind of cold.
I'm doing great. It's getting a little chilly here in the Northeast, but we're moving along on this barn project. For today's tip, I want to talk to you guys about estimating framing material, wall studs, for example. On a big project like this, I typically have the lumberyard do a takeoff and I just work it from there. But I'm a big fan of rules of thumb. And a simple rule of thumb for estimating wall studs is just basically 1 stud per foot. And then I like to add 2 studs for every corner, window, and intersecting partition. Additionally, when you're doing plates, wall plates, top and bottom plates, I'll do 5 lineal feet per foot. That's going to give me my bottom plate and my 2 double top plates. Hope this helps, guys. Have a great week.
All right, it's time again for your construction industry news, courtesy of the Construction Junkie. Getting to a remote job site can be difficult, dangerous, and expensive. We've seen solutions for moving heavy equipment that range from blimps, planes, helicopters, and even a fat little truck. But this week, Shane came across a solution we had never seen before. This is the LSC Cable Crane, a mountainside cable car for moving heavy equipment. The cables are 60 millimeters thick, that's 2.36 inches, stretched to 110 tons of tension. That's a lot of tension, and I should know because I share a coffee pot with Rob every day. The cable crane is powered by 2 electro-hydraulic power units at the top base station, each with 400 kilowatts power output with a max speed of 13.4 miles per hour. These cranes will open up job sites that would normally be unreachable. You can learn more in Shane's article.
Are you tired of boring old bricks made of stone? Me too. As it turns out, the ongoing search for alternative building materials has found a new friend in the fungus that grows between the toes of the trees. Mycelium are fibers that grow out of mushrooms, and as it turns out, if you help it grow into the shape of a brick, it can be a brick. The team over at The Verge spent 4 weeks making a single mushroom brick, which turned out to be pretty strong. It's a long way from commercial viability, but being able to grow our buildings is not only good for us, but good for the environment. For the full story and the rest of your construction industry news, head on over to ConstructionJunkie.com. Now, last week we took a look at some truly cool tool accessories, but 90% of the comments were about my mom joke, which you can watch right here. Special thanks to Ego and Ohio Power Tool for sponsoring this episode. Guys, we couldn't do it without you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
We'll see you next week.